Hey guys, so for today's video, I am doing like a latte art type of design, pumpkin spice latte, just a plain latte. I don't know. I was calling it pumpkin spice because I feel like I did kind of like an orangey color, but I don't, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know if pumpkin spice lattes are actually orange or not. I am not a coffee drinker at all. Cannot stand the taste, so I don't be getting like, all the fancy coffee drinks or whatever, so I don't really know. But I just remember seeing a few years ago all the latte art design the latte art designs that everyone was doing and like all that. I think it was like during COVID when everyone was like trying to get into latte art. Um, and I've always thought it would be cool to do a nail set like that, like do latte art nails. And I tried to do them one time. Can't remember if I tried it last year or the year before. That was a video that never got posted because I never finished it because it was so bad the first attempt. I had no idea what I was doing. And I don't know why I had no idea what I was doing. I don't really think I thought it through. I just kind of tried to do it, which is typical of me. I don't usually think my nail sets through. I like never think them through. I just go for it and hope for the best. But anyhow, it was so bad. It was such a fail. That video never got finished. I never uploaded it, and then I never tried it again. And I decided to retry it this year for some reason, and it ended up turning out a lot better. So, to start out here, I am taking Astro Pie from Madam Glam. I do have a discount code with them. It is 35% off. I'll try to remember to put it up on the screen. If not, it is down in the description below. If you are interested in purchasing anything from Madam Glam, you can use my discount code. Save you a little bit of money there. What was I gonna say? This color, okay, so I only did one coat of this, first of all, and I cured it for 60 seconds. And this color looks very orange here on camera, and I mean, it is an orange color, but it's more muted, I guess you could say. In person, it kind of has more of a brownish undertone to it. It's not like this bright pumpkin-y orange that it looks right now. And I always say this in my videos, the tutorial portion part of the videos, the way the colors look under like my filming lights and everything, they always look distorted and not how they look in real life. Whereas in my finishing shots, whether it's under the flash or in the sunlight, is a more accurate representation of how the colors look in person. So anyhow, let me get caught up to what's going on here on screen. After curing that first layer, I took one nail, because I'm doing one nail at a time to do this. Obviously, I can't paint 3 nails at the same time. Anyhow, I painted a second layer of that orangey color, and I kept it wet. I did not cure it. Then I went in with Cheesecake from Ball Pit, which is like an off-white color. It's not pure white, which I didn't want because I felt like that would have been too bright for this latte art. I feel like whatever is used for the latte art isn't a pure, like, stark white color. It is kind of like a more off-white color, and I felt like Cheesecake was the perfect color for it. It did end up being the perfect color. So anyhow, I for that first nail there, I just did some dots. That was kind of my tester nail to see if this was going to work. I did some dots and did kind of like the heart design on it. And I just took a liner brush and dragged it through the wet polish to create that wet look, and it worked out so well, and I was super happy with it. So I moved on to the next nail, and after I got that first nail done, I did go ahead and cure it right away because I didn't want the gel to spread anymore, even though like it's not spreading a whole lot. Like it does spread a little bit because both of the gels are wet, and it's kind of like, you know, a blooming effect without the blooming gel, so it doesn't really bloom as much, but it does spread a little bit, you know. And I didn't want it to like spread anymore, so I did cure it immediately after getting it done. For this nail, I was trying to do, I don't know what it is. It's like a tree or like a leaf or something. So I started out, I did a dot, and then I kind of did like the curved lines underneath of it. And then I just took the liner brush, dragged it through, created that little leafy tree design, whatever it is. And it came out so well. So whenever I'm dragging my liner brush through, I always start it on the orange part first, so that way the first line or dot or whatever it is that's on the nail gets that orange to pull through it, so it gets that like heart shape to it, or like the, yeah, that's the best I can describe it, because both of those, like the first design that I did was the hearts, and then that second one, the top one, also kind of looked like a heart because it was the dot. Yeah, it just looks like latte art, I guess is the best way I can describe it. I don't know. Anyhow, this nail is the pointer nail. I'm doing that heart design again, but I did the dots on that first nail kind of small, and I wanted to see if I could get it bigger so it could take up more space on the nail. So I just did some bigger dots on there, and again, just dragged my brush through. You can barely see that I'm dragging it through because I'm, you know, way off screen, which is great for, you know, a tutorial and trying to show you what I'm doing. But anyhow, just dragged it through again and got that heart shape. I was super happy with how everything was going. I honestly didn't think I was going to be able to actually do it, but things were turning out really well. I was super happy. So like I said, you just do that second layer of your color, leave it wet, don't cure it, put your other color on top, and then drag your brush through it. For this one, I'm doing this really cool like swirl. This is the thumb here. I saved in the middle for last because I was trying to do like a more complicated kind of design for it. It kind of failed, but anyhow, we'll get to that in a minute. I'm doing this swirl, and I saw a video of someone doing this design on an actual like coffee latte thing. And this is how they did it. They did the little white lines just like how I'm doing them, and then they swirled it. So I'm just drawing on the white lines, and I thought getting these white lines on would be easiest with a liner brush instead of a dotting tool, because I could load up more polish onto a liner brush than I would be able to with a dotting tool. So I'm just taking the liner brush, dipping it into that off-white color, and I'm really like just scooping it up with it and then dragging it on, instead of like, you know, usually when you do nail art, you want to wipe off all the excess, and so you can have those nice crisp clean lines and you're not having a glob. For this, you kind of want the opposite of that. You do want that glob, so you don't want to wipe it off. But in between each line that I'm doing, I am wiping off the nail art or the liner brush, because it does get some of the orange on there, and I don't want the orange to be in the white until I purposefully drag it into it when I'm doing the actual, like, design, if that makes sense. So for this one, like I said, I'm doing this swirl, and I'm just dragging my liner brush through and like that spiral, and it looks so cool. This nail ended up being my favorite out of all of them. I thought the middle nail would have ended up being my favorite based off the design that I was going to attempt to do, but it ended up being my least favorite. So for this one, which is the middle nail here, I wanted to do the heart design, and I wasn't 100% sure how to do it because it's like the latte part and then like I said, I don't know what it is. What is it, like creamer or something? I don't know. I'm going to call it creamer. I'm probably wrong. If I am, you can correct me in the comments, or you can just let me be wrong. I don't care. Actually, please do correct me because I'm going to sound so stupid. Anyhow, it's like the latte and then the creamer and then the latte and then the creamer and then you keep layering it like that. So I'm like, how am I going to do this and get it to spread properly? So I started out with blooming gel. I did a layer of blooming gel, then I did my like cream color, let that spread, then I did the orange color, let that spread, and then you can see it kind of stopped spreading. It like spread as far as it could, and it wasn't really spreading anymore. Also, I had this huge glob of gel polish right there in the center of the nail, which is not good. That would not have cured at all, but I kept going with it because I wanted to see if like that would work, and it kind of did. I mean, I got the heart. You could see it like on the very middle part of it, like I got the heart, but it didn't work the way that I wanted it, and just that giant glob of polish there in the middle of the nail, like I said, that would not have cured at all. So I stopped to think a little bit, and I'm like, how can I do it to actually get this to work? So I went back to how I did the rest of them. I did a layer of the orange, and now I'm taking a liner brush and scooping up that white and drawing on the white circles, making sure to leave a space in between them so it is the like orange, white, orange, white, orange, white kind of layering, like how the latte art is. So I just did the orange circles, or not the orange circles, the white circles. I think I did 3 or 4 of them. And I did just do like one single dot there in the middle. And then I dragged my liner brush through, again starting in the orange, pulling that down through to the end. And it did not work. It didn't give the heart shape that I was wanting. You'll see this here in a minute. I'm like ahead with my talking compared to what's going on the screen. And this is all in real time. Like, I didn't speed it up or anything this entire video, so you can see how quickly this design or like this nail art went for me, for all of them. But anyhow, like I said, I started here, I dragged it down, and it didn't give the heart shape. I mean, it kind of gave the heart shape in the middle, but not up at the top. Like, it didn't give that rounded heart shape. So you can kind of see, because again, I'm off screen. You can kind of see I'm trying to round it out and open that up a little more to give like that heart shape, but it just was not working and I didn't like it. I was about to wipe it off here. That's why I was like picking up the rest of it. I was gonna set it on there while I get my lint-free wipe and whatever. But then I decided I'm just going to drag in like the sides and make it look like a leaf or something. I don't really know. It kind of looks like a peacock, almost like a peacock tail, because I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was gonna try to do it again, but I'm like, it's just gonna be the same thing again. So I didn't. And then this nail, you see that wrinkling over there. I had to redo it, which I'm doing here. Because I don't know, I somehow that side was like partially in the light, so it didn't cure right. So that's why it's like all wrinkled and ugly looking. So had to throw that nail away and start over. And actually I feel like the second time I did it, it came out a whole lot better. But also when I'm doing this, if I'm doing multiple pulls of my liner brush through to get a design, I wipe it off in between each pull that I do. So for that peacock heart leaf design that I did on the middle nail, I did that first line down the middle, wiped it off, and then the line on the side, wiped it off, another line on the side, wiped it off. That way the colors didn't get too mixed up, and like it was the nice clean line, and you could see like the orange and the white getting pulled through each other, if that makes sense. I hope that made sense. But yeah, that's kind of how I did it. This was a fun little design to do, and there's like, I know there's so many different types of latte designs. Here, right here, I'm just trying to pop some bubbles that are in there because some bubbles did arise from like stirring up the gel polish and like manipulating it or whatever. Like when you introduce air into the gel polish, you get bubbles. So I was trying to pop them with my nail brush. I did kind of pop them, some of them, but some of them I didn't. Like there was quite a few bubbles and I wasn't really too picky on it. You can see them in the finished result, so if you don't want that, I would definitely try to really pop them so that way you don't see like the bubbles or the air, like where the bubbles were in the finished design. But like I said, I really didn't care too much about it. And I felt like for this set, it should be matte, so I'm using my Nails by Dev matte top coat. Applying this to all the nails, curing for 60 seconds, and then this is a wipe off top coat, so you do have to wipe it off with alcohol in order to get the matte effect after you cure it. But like I was saying, this was a fun set to do, and like there's so many different latte art designs. Some of them are insane. Like some people who do this do some insane designs, and I'm like, how is that even possible? Unless I just got, you know, tricked by AI because I wasn't really looking too hard. But I think people do some insane, because I remember seeing videos, like I said, in like lockdown COVID era. I don't know why I said area. People were doing insane latte art designs. So this is really fun, and it's really fun to just like play around and like see what all you can do with it. And if you don't want to do like a latte art design and you want to do like different colors, you could do whatever colors you want. I think this is kind of a fun alternative to doing like a blooming gel design. It also gives you more control, whereas blooming gel just kind of spreads and goes everywhere, whereas if you're just putting the wet gel polish into wet gel polish, it doesn't spread as much. And that swirl design would be really cool for like the tie-dye designs that everybody does. Like doing that with the different colors and like dragging it through. I don't know, that'd be really cool for a tie-dye set. But yeah, this is the finished result. I think they came out really cool. Um, even though like I don't like coffee and all that, but like you don't have to like coffee to have coffee themed nails. um, yeah, I think they came out really well. I will say for the middle nail though, I do need to try and figure that out a little bit more and try and figure out how to get that heart design. That's just something that I'm gonna have to like mess around with and test out. Will I? Probably not. Maybe revisit this design again next fall. I probably won't. This will probably be the only time I do it because, like I said, I don't really like coffee, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with a coffee design? But I thought it'd be cool or coffee nail set. I thought it would be cool to like show people. I don't know. Anyhow, I am really happy with how this set came out, and yeah, it just came out super cool. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.